Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here. My name is David. As always, grateful to share this practice with you. Today's practice is focused on the daily work. And I'm going to be sharing from a book today called You Can Heal Your Life by Louise L. And I find it, I've shared from this book quite a bit, so I'm not going to go into too much detail about it. But if you do have a book on your bookshelf that I would recommend, it would be this book. It's a great book for children. It's a great book for reference. It's a great book just to give us gentle reminders on our own power and harnessing that power again. And one way in which we can do that is developing daily practices, or sometimes called the daily work. And when we refer to the daily work, it's not the work that we go to at an office or at a home office or have to commute to. It's the daily things that we use to integrate into our lives that help keep us calm, keep us serene, keep us from this up and down rhythm. And of course, that's part of life. Not here to deny that at all. But there are certain things that we can do daily that can help to bring us a little bit more peace of mind. And I realize and know that if we collectively practiced more of these things on a regular basis, and also help to communicate and educate those that may not have a practice quite yet, it will bring a little deeper sense of stability, a little deeper feeling of balance within and also around us. It'll also give us a deeper sense of equanimity as well. And so I'm going to read from this book and then share just a few things of my personal practice, and then talk about it a little bit more as we practice, as always. So in chapter 9 in her book, it's called The Daily Work. And she said, if a child gave up at the first fall, it would never learn to walk. Like any other new thing you are learning, it takes practice to make it a part of your life. First, there is a lot of concentration, and some of us choose to make this hard work. I don't like to think of it as hard work, but rather as something new to learn. The process of learning is always the same, no matter what the subject. Whether you're learning to drive a car, or type, or play tennis, or think in a positive manner, and in our case, practicing yoga. First, we fumble and bumble as our subconscious mind learns by trial, and yet, every time we come back to our practicing, it gets easier. And we do it a little better. Of course, you won't be perfect the first day. You will be doing whatever you can do. That's good enough for a start. Say to yourself often, I'm doing the best I can. And I encourage students and teachers to just, say to yourself throughout the day, I'm doing the best I can. Because if our focus is on doing the best that we can, then we're not getting sidelined or sidetracked by all the other many different things that can pull us away from our daily work. Because the fact of the matter is, there is an innumerable number of things that are going to constantly try to take our attention away from being present, from being compassionate, from being loving, from being sincere and honest with one another, and in truth with ourselves. But it's checking in and keeping that daily practice of work. And some of these things that we can do to reinforce our learning is expressing gratitude on a more regular basis, just looking out from our standpoint and being grateful for what it is that we're seeing. Even if it seems a little bit dark, even if it seems annoying, even if it seems on the onset, first allow that annoyance to come in. I'm not here to say deny it, but what can we learn from this? Because there is always a lesson unfolding and taking place in front of us if we are putting on the student hat and being a student to life. And we can start to be grateful for what it is that we're seeing. And we can talk about that with others. It's not about just keeping it to ourselves too, although that is helpful. We can write down affirmations. We can say affirmations out loud, affirming where we stand, affirming what is true within, affirming and reaffirming. We can also sing affirmations. We can sit in meditation. And sometimes sitting in meditation is sort of like a mature form of adult timeout. And we don't have to take that as a negative either. We're just taking time out of our day to contemplate and become familiar with our own thoughts and feelings, and maybe put them in a little better order for ourselves, or cut the things that don't work us, simplify. We can exercise. We can practice good nutrition and be more aware of what the things we are reaching for are, because those things will have an effect on us too. We can take time for relaxing exercises, going for a walk, spending time at the beach, going for a stroll through the forest, or just stepping away from family to give ourselves some boundaries. We can read and study. We can also practice visualization. There's a lot of different things that we can do. I try to, and I'll speak from a personal standpoint now, my morning time is first filled with just waking up. And before I wake up, I just try to come back in from that sleep state and recognize, wow, I'm here again. And now that I'm here again, what is on the list of things to do today? So just start to organize the day without tripping out about it or overthinking it. I know I have my classes. I know I have commute time. What can I do in that commute time to fill my day? I try not to just immediately look at the news and stimulate myself in that way, because it's sort of like I already know what I'm going to see when I turn on the news. The news is here to project all sorts of divisiveness and control and a number of different things. And I don't see that as bad, I just see it as what it is. But if I allow myself to get caught up in that, then the rest of the day I'm fuming about the things that are wrong with the world, and that is how we would begin to approach the day. So I put a halt on that. And then I know that I'm going to be teaching in the day, so I ask myself, what am I feeling that needs to work through, or what inspires me? And so then I might spend some time looking up quotes, and then a certain quote may trigger me, and that's the quote that I'll use for the rest of the day, or a combination of quotes. When I'm in my car, I don't listen to a whole lot of overbearing music anymore. That was more in my 20s and 30s, and I found that was caused a lot of irritation. I still like that stuff from time to time, but I do tend to listen to more talks of mindfulness, of presence, and just being. I keep several books in my car as well, in the passenger seat, so I typically get to classes 20-30 minutes early. My dad had an old saying, if you're on time, you're late. If you're 5 minutes early, you're on time. So I always just tend to show up early, so that gives me time to just read through books and, again, re-coordinate the things that are important to me. I spend at least 20 to 30 minutes every day in meditation. I used to think that was boring, but I've been having to check in with myself and ask myself, what part of me needs to be stimulated? What part of me is boring that needs to push away the boringness? And so on and so forth throughout the day, conscious of what I'm putting in my body. I recognize when I put junk food in, but that is the daily work. There's our jobs that bring us income, and then there's the daily work that keep us in a balanced state that allows us to show up and be present for other individuals too. Because I know that I love presence, but if I have something on my heart and I'm talking to my teachers, I know that it's received and that the right words come back for me to be received. But I also understand too how challenging it is when we're in the presence of another human being and they're not fully there and we're trying to communicate. And I feel our work now more than ever, with everything taking place in this world, is that our work is to really look inward, be a more loving presence for one another, show up the best that we can, and to constantly reinforce that. As such, we build stronger communities, stronger families, and I feel within that is the way to go for now. So I trust that. With that said, I don't want to go too far longer. I'd like to have a solid practice with you. So let's get into our practice, and I'll talk a little bit more as we move around our mats. Let's go ahead and lay down. Have blocks handy if you have them. If you don't, that's okay. And have a strap handy because we will be using that to stretch our legs. And let's lay down on our backs. Please cactus your arms. Palms face up. Relax your legs. Relax your hips. Relax your spine. Let the chest open. Relax the arms. Relax the head down. And as we arrive into our practice, let go of your day. Let go of your week. Let go of the news and social media and anything we may have picked up that caused or created an overstimulation. Let go of the conversations yesterday, grudges, misunderstandings. If we think that we need to hold on to them, let's just simply ask ourselves, why do I need to hold on to this? Is it truly serving me or others? Or is it creating a block for myself? If we can answer that honestly and see that it's creating a block from being present, then let us focus on doing the work and revealing the work that's necessary to let it go. Begin to observe your breath, the breathing process, the inhales and the exhales. The breath is the conduit for our ability to perform these actions. And as we breathe more slowly and with balance, we create more balance internally, as well as more stability and control physically, mentally. Observe the depth of the breath, the pace of the breath, and the balance in the breath. Please take a long, slow breath in, fill lungs up. Exhale, let it go. Long, slow, deep breath in. Exhale, let it go. Long, slow, deep breath in. Exhale, let it go. Continue to breathe on your own. And as you breathe on your own, check in with your body. Observe any tension, tightness, soreness, imbalances that are showing up today. Just recognizing where you're at with all of it. As we move through our practice, breathe deep, take breaks, listen to your body. It's okay to go slow and take your time. This is more about quality than quantity. Place the left hand over the heart and the right hand on the belly. Let's begin to deepen our breath. Please take a long, slow, deep breath in. Feel the navel rise, let the chest expand, collarbones spread, shoulders down the back, long spine, relax the face, lips, eyes, mouth, and forehead. Hold your breath at the top of the inhale. And if you have an intention for your practice, focus on that intention. See it happening, be clear, be specific with it. Exhale, let it go. Smooth breath in. Smooth breath out. And gently releasing the arms down along the sides. Softly blinking the eyes open. Slowly begin to move the fingers and move the toes. Circle out the wrists and circle out the ankles. You know, in our own mindfulness practice, I encourage everyone to explore their own practice. I have my own practice. I would never dare say to someone, do the same thing that I'm doing, because we're all unique in our own way. So explore what makes sense for you and know that whatever comes up is coming up in just the right time, at the right time. Release the arms down along the sides. On an inhale, reach the arms up and over the head. Exhale, arms down along the sides. Inhale, reach the arms up and over the head, palms touch. Exhaling, arms down along the sides. Inhale, smoothly reach the arms. It's not about getting there. It's about being here. Exhale, arms down along the sides. We'll always get there in the eternal nature of things and the infinity of things. Inhale, arms reach up and over the head, palms touch. We will always get there and beyond it. Exhale, arms down along the sides. Good. On the inhale, roll the shoulders upwards towards the ears. Exhale, shoulders down the back. Go slow. Inhale, roll shoulders forward and up. Exhale, shoulders back and down. Inhaling, roll shoulders forward and up. Exhale, shoulders back and down. And inhale, shoulders forward and up. Exhale, shoulders back and down. Now on the inhale, reach the arms up and over the head. Press the palms together, point the toes, bring the legs together, and reach and extend. As we reach and extend, lengthening through the side waistline as if we were diving towards the back wall. Breathe down into your lower belly. Good. Keep the natural curve in your lumbar spine. Long, slow, deep breath in. Exhale, keep pointing the toes, press the palms, firm the arms in by the ears. Deep breath in. Exhale. And deep breath in. Exhale, please release the arms down along the sides. Slowly bring both knees into your chest. And then rock it side to side, back and forth. And showing up to practice like we are today, that is a form of the daily work. And I try to do a lot of the daily work at the beginning of the day, because the beginning of the day sets us up for the rest of the day. And then I try to incorporate a little bit of it also at the end of the day as well, before I go to sleep. So that way, anything that wasn't completed or anything that was still left lingering, I'm not going to bed with this heavy stuff on my head or on my mind, if possible. Is it perfect every day? No, it's not. No, it's not. It's always different. But that's okay. Coming towards center, hands on the knees, circle the knees out, go slow. Just using this to release the lumbar spine and lower backs. And making sure that we're not overdoing it. We can, overdo yoga exercises. I see a lot of injuries in yogis by doing too much. Something that was reminded for me when I used to run was we have to take rest days. We have to take days for the body to be able to recover. And if we're constantly doing the same thing over and over and over again, we can start to get overuse injuries. And even as a teacher, opposite direction with the knees, I've had to do that too. I just found that I was teaching too much, was one of the reasons why I needed to cut some classes that I was doing online. But we have to listen to our bodies. And if we aren't listening to our bodies are constantly communicating with us. When we're in our heads overthinking things, worried about the states of the world and what we're going to lose and all the fears and our insecurities and everything else, of course we're not listening to our bodies. We're just feeding that fear. Lengthening the left leg forward, bring the right thigh, right knee in towards our chest, and then flex both feet. As you flex both feet, draw the shoulder blades down the back, collarbones spread, elbows drawing in. And it's sort of like robbing from Paul to give to Peter. When I choose to tune out the everyday news and whatnot, I can start to tune into what's taking place internally. And that internal Wi-Fi is always on. And the truth is, any news that we receive really isn't news. The news is always taking place in the present moment outside of us, and we can be a witness and aware of it. Now, being aware of world events and all that stuff, I still find very helpful, and we can practice prudence with that. Take a long, slow, deep breath in. Exhale, let it go. But we can also abuse it. We can also find ourselves taking sides. We can also find ourselves in our heads arguing with other people about a lot of things that maybe others aren't ready to receive just yet. And so I have to look at myself at that too. It's a duality. Take a long, slow breath in. Exhale, please release the right leg down. Let's switch sides. Bring the left knee into the chest, opposite interlace around the left shin. Is the left thigh hugs in, flex the feet, collarbones spread, shoulders down the back. Long, slow, deep breath in. Exhaling. Deep breath in. Exhaling. And I can also see why some people want to renounce everything and completely escape and go away to, the mountains and live in caves and all that. I completely understand that. But what I also find is that whatever we are avoiding, mentally or emotionally, it will eventually find us, whether it's this lifetime or another, or wherever we are at this lifetime. We can play escapism all we want, but what is it that we are really escaping from in the internal, eternal, infinite realm of all things? Full breath in. And that's a big question to ask ourselves. Exhale, release the left leg. Shake the legs out. All right, let's bend our right knee and grab the strap. Place the strap around your right foot. If you'd like to interlace the hands around the back of the right hamstring, please do so. Flex the right foot. But that's why I also understand the benefit of having a daily devotional or a holy book or a favorite book that you read. I find that to be quite helpful. The biggest thing is to look at, and we all do it, I know I do it, is where we are being hypocrites. You know, if we're taking the time to read this knowledge and take it all in, are we just doing it for the going through the motions, or are we actually taking it to heart and putting it into practice? That's where I even see in my own self little areas and corners where I could probably do a little bit better too. Deep breath in. Exhale. You know, one of my teachers used to say this: I recognize the hypocrite in others because I recognize the hypocrite in myself. It's so true though. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. And then there's the judging one that judges that. I mean, there's a whole slew of things that go along with it. It's just, we're human beings. And it's working through that, talking about it. Not shaming people for it either. Shaming doesn't work. Take one more full breath in. And exhale. Gather your strap in your right hand. And if it helps to wrap the strap around the right hand, please do so. Start to make small circles. Circle the right leg out. And gradually get larger with it. Bigger and bigger. As you make bigger and bigger circles, find those little areas of impingement. And if you're in a tight area in your house, then maybe make some room for yourself to really explore the circles. If you're feeling some discomfort in the circling motion, then pause wherever it feels uncomfortable and allow yourself to work into that space. Maybe go back and forth, seesaw a little bit, not bouncing, but just gentle. Take a couple more rounds with wherever you're at. Then take the leg back up. And then circle your leg in the opposite direction. Start with small circles, spiral it outwards, bigger and bigger. And something that I find helpful too is just recognizing the blessings in our life. Like what a blessing it is to be able to sit here or practice here in the comfort of our homes today. Would I like to be in a studio? Sure. But am I safe? Yes. Blessings for safety. Am I protected by a home today? Yes. Blessings for that. Is there food in my refrigerator? Yes. Gratitude. Grateful for that. For those that are hearing these words, there is much to be grateful for. Sometimes we forget. I forget. But it's coming back to that practice. And that is daily work too. Just that gratitude list. I'm grateful to have friends. I'm grateful to have support. Now take a couple more rounds. I'm grateful to be able to communicate. Grateful to have a platform to share. And then taking the leg up to the top, full breath in. Exhale, take your left arm out to the left. Take your right leg out to the right side. Now you may need to walk your hand up your strap if you need to. Press your right heel to the right side of the room. Press your left buttocks down towards the ground. Press your left rib cage down towards the ground. Turn your head to the left. Long, slow, deep breath in. Keep the feet flexed. Exhale. If you want to take your leg a little higher up, you can. Full breath in. Exhale. And deep breath in. Exhale. Slowly bend the right knee. Bring the right knee back into your chest. Give it a hug. Inhale. Exhale, let it go. Let's switch legs. Place the strap around your left leg. Extend your left leg upwards towards the sky. Flex the left foot. Right leg extends forward. Right heel presses forward. And as the right heel presses forward and the left heel presses upwards, breathe into your left hamstring. Observing the balance in your body, does the left hamstring feel tighter than the right side? You know, in affirming things, going back to the quote that Louise Hayes said, I'm doing the best I can. In any posture, at any given moment in time, we are in some form of posture, whether it's walking to the bathroom, using the restroom, working in the kitchen, speaking with loved ones, sitting at the table, doing taxes, whatever. We take on postures in many different ways, shapes, and forms. Those are just examples. But are we doing the best that we can while we do them? Where are we cutting ourselves short? Where are we denying ourselves? Where are we skipping out? You know, we talk a lot about doing our best, but doing our best is a learning process, and it's constantly checking in with that, breathing into it. And when we are affirming that we are doing the best we can, it's not we're affirming that we are the best, we're just doing the best we can with where we are at. Take a long, slow, deep breath in. Exhale. And I'm not saying that we have to do it every minute or second. It's just when we start to get into our heads about what we're doing or where we're at, just gently saying to ourselves, I'm doing my best. It's fair. It's honest. Take a long, slow, deep breath in. Exhale. Gather the strap in your left hand. And right hand to right hip, slowly start to make circles with the left leg. And if we find that we're in a space where we're saying to ourselves, I can do better, then do better. And we don't need to make a story up about it. Let's shift that I can do better to I'm doing the best that I can. Sometimes that means asking for outside help. That's okay. Nothing wrong with outside help. You know, I've personally denied outside help many times when I probably could have used it. But as we get older, we eventually begin to realize that for some people, it's not a race to understand or have that realization. Some may have that at the age of 88. Some might have that at the age of 5 or 6. No judgment. And if we are judging it, for what reason? How's it serving you to judge it? You know what I mean? I find asking for help is one of the boldest moves that we can make, because we're recognizing that there is something inside of us that needs a little bit more clarity. Good. Take another round in this direction. And then circle the left leg the other way. Go slow. Gradually getting larger. Feel all the way around in the circle. And I'm adjusting my body because I have my little altar here that's kind of getting in the way. Good. Take a couple more rounds. Then taking your left leg up, inhale. Exhale, take your left leg out to your left side. If you need to adjust, adjust as necessary. Take your right arm out to the right. Turn your head to the right. Flex through both feet. Press the right buttocks down. Right heel pressing forward. Left leg, left heel pressing out to the left side. If you want to take the leg a little higher, you can. Deep breath in. Exhaling. Full breath in. Exhaling. Deep breath in. Exhaling. With the next inhale, slowly take the left leg back up towards the sky. Exhale, bend the left knee. Remove the strap. Bring both knees into your chest. As you bring both knees into your chest, let's rock up and down the length of our spines. As we rock up and down the length of our spine, let's massage in the back out. If you want to say, wee, you can, because you're not too old to do that. And if you think you are, say wee. Wee. And when you're ready, rock over your feet. Come onto your hands and knees, tabletop positions. As we come into a tabletop position, shoulders over wrists, hips over knees, hands open wide, root down through the palms and fingertips. On an inhale, pull the heart forward, look forward. Exhale, round the spine and tuck the tailbone. Inhale, heart pulls forward, looking forward. Exhale, round the spine, tuck the tailbone. Inhale, heart pulls forward, gaze forward. Exhale, round spine, tuck tailbone. Inhale, heart pulls forward, gaze forward. Exhale, round. Couple more rounds. Inhaling. Exhaling. And inhaling. Exhale. Finding a neutral spine. Rooting down through the left palm. On the inhale, reach the right arm upwards towards the ceiling. On the exhale, thread the right arm underneath the left. Lower the right shoulder down. There are ways we can practice daily work. There's different disciplines we incorporate into our lives. One that on the nutritional tip, I've been intermittent fasting now for the last 2.5 years. And I found that that's done a lot of wonderful things for my body. And my body's been able to recover from injuries, from illnesses, from sicknesses, because the body energies are not constantly digesting foods and being utilized in that manner when they could be utilized for rebuilding hormones and rebuilding neural pathways and things like that. Recovery from exercise. Take a long, slow, deep breath in. Exhale. So if you're ever curious about intermittent fasting, please reach out. I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have. Rooting down through your left palm on the inhale, right arm reaches upwards. Exhale, lower the right hand down. And there's a huge body of evidence and work too by doctors and studies that show that intermittent fasting is a beneficial practice to explore. Left arm reaches up, inhale. Exhale, thread the left arm underneath the right. Lower the left shoulder down. And that's coming from a guy that was a grazer that was constantly grazing throughout the day. Press down through the right hand. Revolve the left rib cage towards the right. You can look over the right shoulder if that feels good. The nice thing about intermittent fasting too is that your day is not spent thinking about every single meal. You know that you have a pocket of time in which you're going to eat, so you can coordinate and correlate that period of time with enriching your life with nutrient-dense foods, not high-caloric foods. Take a long, slow, deep breath in. Exhale. I do find it amazing that science is still studying this stuff and, looking at, how to make the body as efficient as possible while giving it a level of longevity, while also helping it suffer from less pain due to the different types of highly processed foods that we place inside of it. On the inhale, left arm reaches upwards towards the sky. Exhale, left hand down. Slowly walk the hands forward. As you walk the hands forward, separate the hands about shoulders distance apart. Keep the hips lifted, hips stacking over the knees. Let the chest move down towards the ground. Now, I did see an article the other day in Reuters. It was from an organization called, I think it was Best Studies or Study Guide or something like that, but they have to do with emerging medical studies. And the study was, scientists found out what creates IBS, irritable bowel syndrome. And what it was is food allergies. And I almost had to say to myself, yeah, duh. I mean, anything you put in through the system is going to create that. Of course it's food allergies. But what they're finding is people are a lot more allergic to things like eggs than believed before, as well as things like gluten. As our society evolved due to the disciplinary dietary habits we have, The intestinal tract, since that is the area that touches these foods, is what's experiencing the discomfort due to food choices. Take a long, slow, deep breath in. Exhale, let it go. Slowly walk the hands in, lift the chest up. So if we are suffering and our internal organs are having and being in a state of suffering, then we have to start to make some changes, or else that karmic suffering continues. Come back into a traditional child's pose, knees wide apart, big toes touch. Crawl the hands out in front of us. And again, karma is just the cycle of continuation. When we don't change a habit or a pattern, well, karmically, we continue to experience the same set of actions over and over and over again. And that's where we have to look into, well, where's the disorder taking place? Because there is something that is driving it. There's a mind-body connection that is creating set habits and patterns. Long, slow, full breath in. Exhale, let it go. Deep breath in. Exhale, letting it go. One more deep breath in. Exhale. Slowly start to walk the hands in, lift the chest up. As you lift the chest up, let's go ahead and take our legs out in front of us. We'll shake our legs out. And as we shake our legs out, please flex your feet. If you'd like to use a strap, use the strap. Otherwise, you can just reach out and touch your legs. Not a big deal. Inhale, arms reach up. Let's hold here for a moment. Lift the chest, reach and extend the arms. Wrap the triceps forward. If you find that your knees are lifted above the ground, you can always grab a blanket or a pillow and sit on that, and that might help to stretch out the hamstrings. Take a full breath in. Exhale, reach out and over the legs, fold in. You know, for some, the daily work may be making a little bit more eye contact and having more interpersonal exchanges. When someone takes the time to talk to us, after all, we are all, having this human experience here. Why not make contact with the eyes? See the soul that is gazing back at your soul. For some, that's a challenging practice because making eye contact can be a scary thing. It can seem threatening to some. But if we're coming from the right place inside of our hearts, eye contact is a very deep and loving connection that we can all have with one another. In fact, much is transmitted through the eyes when we make that contact with one another. Fear is seen, but love is also seen. Joy is seen. Beauty is seen. And in truth, whatever we are holding inside of us is also what we see as a projection outside of us. And so if we are seeing fear, it's looking at that fear in ourselves and how are we approaching it and turning it in and transmuting it. Deep breath in. Exhale. Full breath in. Exhale. And full breath in. Exhale. With a long, slow, deep breath in, lift the chest up. Lightly shake the legs out. And then let's take our legs wide apart. As we take our legs wide apart, we're going to explore the muscles of the inner groin a little bit here. Take your hands behind your hips. Press the hips forward. Flex the feet. And as you flex the feet, then take the hands out in front of you. Long, slow, deep breath in. Exhale, walk your hands forward. And so, the body is the temple. The body is the house. We build this house. What do we choose to build the house with? And so as far as a daily work, I'll talk about food here again for a moment, because food has what's called prana inside of it. It's energy, it's life force. And I don't know too many people that live in mud huts, locally anyways. I know some people that live off the grid that do that, and I truly admire that. But in the local area, I don't know too many people that live in like mud huts or straw huts. And one of the reasons is because in the areas that we live in, structure is important to maintain what it is that we want to do. And so when we look at the body, what are we building the body with? Are we building it with pliable materials like straw and mud? And I realize that the body is on a timeline, but we have to build the body with things that strengthen it and foods that strengthen it rather than foods that weaken it. And if we are experiencing disease, if we are experiencing buildup in certain areas, arteries, capillaries, veins, build up on our nervous system, then let's go back to the foods, because food is a major source of a lot of our discomfort as beings. And if we can dial in the foods the right way, and talking to your nutritionist about it, or if you ever want to reach out to me or talk to Shelly about it, we dive into this pretty deep. We can give you, happy to give you just some loving advice. Never you need to do this advice though, because we're all going to do what we want to do anyways. Walk your hands forward a little bit more. But I do see a huge level of suffering on this planet due to things like cancer, GI tract infections, colitis, IBS, pancreatic, liver, heart, regulatory, circulatory, and a lot of it does derive from foods. It derives from our exercise habits, our sleeping habits, our mindfulness habits in general. Take a long, slow, full, deep breath in. Exhale, let it go. From here, walk your hands over to the right side. As you walk your hands over to the right side, reach your heart forward, flex the feet, inhale. And exhale, fold out and over your right leg. Roll your left rib cage down and flex the feet. And please know, I recognize all this stuff is very personal. Our eating habits, our daily life habits. And because it's so personal, I understand, I hope that my words are never taken offensively. I do want to try to teach from a space of, I don't know everything. I'm always open to learning, and I always want to be respectful of what others are going through. But I also recognize that I do a lot of looking day to day, and I don't let a lot of things distract me like I used to. And I feel it's important to talk about these topics, as uncomfortable as they may seem, in order to at least say, hey, let's look at this. And if you need some help, let's look at this together. You're not alone. Take a full breath in. Exhale. One more. Deep, full breath in. Exhale. With your next inhale, walk your hands back towards center. Exhale, walk your hands over to the left side. And then fold over your left leg. Flexing through your left foot, flexing through your right foot. Reach the spine out and forward over the leg. If you need a strap, you can use a strap. Roll the right rib cage down. Reach and extend. Remember, where you are in your body and where you're at with your practice is only based off of the work that we've done on it up until this time. You're right where you need to be. Please never compare yourself to others or what you may see on a screen. Long, slow, deep breath in. Exhale. Deep breath in. Exhale. Deep breath in. Exhale. Inhale. Exhaling. Feel into the sensations. Keep surrendering into the pose. Instead of avoiding the discomfort, surrender to the discomfort and relax a little into it. You're going to be okay. There's no need to force yourself through it. It's just being present with it. And I say that in many, many levels. It's sort of like this time period of quarantines and COVID and all the national news. It's learning to not force ourselves through this time. It's recognizing that everything is coming up for us to see and experience. To learn to embrace it and do the counterintuitive things that we may have done in the past. With the next inhale, walk the hands back towards center and lift your chest up. As we lift the chest up, that was my mat, by the way. As you lift your chest up, bring the legs together, and let's cross our legs. Mat farts are the best. That's right, I said fart. There was a time in my life where my dad would say, "Don't you use that word." It's such a funny word. Hands on the knees, palms face down. He's old school. Start to circle the head out. It's called flatulence. As you circle your head out. As a yoga teacher, just as a comment here, the one thing that's been kind of nice is sometimes you walk through a class as a teacher and someone will, I'll use the phrase bust ass, someone will let a fart out. And you're walking through the class and you're like, oh God, I got to get to the other side. But then as you're walking, you realize that you're stirring it up, and then the students might think that you're the one doing it, crop dusting the whole room, even though you're not. I don't miss that, but I do realize that, bodily functions are bodily functions. They're going to happen, and as we get older, sometimes they're even out of control. Circle your spine out. I love it all, though. You gotta laugh at all of it. It's silly, it's fun. It may not seem fun if you're the person sitting next to the person that's doing it. Oh, my face is hurting. If there's any topics out there that you have or that you'd like for me to talk about, I certainly welcome it too. I like to explore stuff. Being in relationship, I love exploring relationship. Topics of, even sexuality or sex. Things that are, no, we don't talk about these things. Well, how are we going to understand them if we don't speak about them? Or at least get a mindfulness sense about them? It's all personal to a lot of people, so I understand. But if you're ever, want to speak up or, like to have an alternative perspective or point of view, I'm happy to share. That's the daily work. Talking about this stuff, not being afraid of it. Those things that make us uncomfortable, speaking about it, questioning it. The next inhale, please lift the chest up. Exhale, switch the crossing of the legs. Hands on knees, palms face down, lift the chest up, inhale. Exhale, circle the head in the opposite direction. The one way that has helped me grow is I've had several teachers that I talk to and just say, hey, I experienced this. What is this all about? Help me with this. I don't quite understand. And that moves us from a state of ignorance into a state of shining a light on things that we may be unaware of. Circle the spine up. I give you an example for us that have been stretching perhaps in the wrong patterns in the wrong way all along. What else have we been doing perhaps maybe in a wrong way? Our conversations, our connections with others, intimacy. But I want, in the wrong way is a harsh word, so I'll pull that back, but maybe not in an aligned way. In an aligned way. Because if it's out of alignment, it's going to create suffering. And if it's in alignment, suffering will be minimized. Big circles. Take a couple more rounds. Good. With your next inhale, please rise up. On an inhale, reach the arms upwards. Exhale, draw the hands down to the heart center. Inhaling, arms out to the sides, no rush, reach up. Exhale, hands to the heart center. Inhaling, arms out and up. Exhale, hands down to the heart center. Inhaling, arms out and up. Exhale, hands to the heart center. And inhaling, arms out and up. Exhale, hands to the heart center. All right, let's open our hips up. Try to take your right knee forward and then either cross, depending on your hip flexibility, cross the foot, the left foot, on just the outside of the right thigh, or if you can stack the knees, flex the feet. Now for the gentlemen out there, please be careful of the the area down there, sometimes referred to as the nutcracker. Be careful. All right, this pose is called Gomukhasana, or cow face pose. On an inhale, arms reach upwards. We can choose to stay here or bend the right knee, place the left hand on top, lift the chest. As you lift the chest, spread through the collarbones. Now you can choose to stay here, or if you have a little deeper practice, flexibility in the arms, take your left arm behind the back, find a bind. Lift your chest up, take the gaze forward, inhale. If you'd like to go deeper, on the exhale, lean forward, reach forward, fold out and over the knees. The compression on the legs will help to open up the hips. Deep breath in. Exhale. Full breath in. Exhaling. Deep breath in. Exhale. With your next inhale, please lift the chest up, reach both arms up, inhale. Exhale, float the arms down. Let's switch the crossing of the legs. As we switch the crossing of the legs, put the left knee on the bottom. Again, you can either plant the foot on the ground, hugging the knee into the chest, or if the flexibility is there today, we stack the knees. Again, don't give up if you're not quite there yet. I'm doing the best that I can. Just remember that phrase. Flex the feet. Inhale, arms reaching upwards. Exhale, bend left elbow, place the right hand on top. As you lift the chest up, tilt the head back, breathing into the triceps. You can choose to stay here or wrap your right arm behind the back, finding a bind. Don't force it. Allow it to occur and open organically. And if you want to put the arm back there just to get used to it, that's fine too. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, reach forward, out and over the legs, fold in. You know, when we have access to the full range of motion in our body, it's amazing how much more of life we begin to engage with and enjoy. But when we have that shunting of flexibility, we start to lose that enjoyment. Reach and extend. Full breath in. Exhale. Deep breath in. Exhale. And full breath in. Exhale. With your next inhale, lift the chest up, reach both arms up. Exhale, float the arms down. Let's uncross our legs, and we'll make our way onto our backs. Grab your blocks. We're going to go just a little bit over today. I hope that's okay. Lift the hips up. Place your blocks underneath your buttocks. One of my favorite poses. Let the hips relax. Let your lower back relax down towards the ground. So the block is underneath your sacrum, not the lumbar spine. We want to create space for the lumbar spine to drop down, to release. Cactus the arms if that feels good and right. You know, and yesterday, an example of daily work, I journal a lot and I post some stuff, just putting thoughts out there. But at USC, we had a diversity talk, and we had some very, very wonderful doctors that have studied this topic speak about diversity. And they posed a number of different questions that were intended to help us look internally at where we still hold our own thought processes towards other individuals that may not look like us or may not act or behave in the same ways. And it was incredibly revealing. And I put a post on it yesterday and some pictures from the slideshow. But diversity is, another topic for many people that's uncomfortable. And I was uncomfortable, and even still, like I get a little tongue-tied about, I don't ever want to be misinterpreted. And that's my work I have to focus on. But, I never want to offend anybody. And I realize that may not be impossible because people are going to take us for wherever they are in their heads. But I do know that if we're genuine and sincere in our approach, then misinterpretation is less likely. Take the legs upwards towards the sky. Point the toes. As you point the toes, lengthen through the legs. Deep breath in. Exhaling. Full breath in. Exhaling. And deep breath in. Exhale. Slowly bring your knees into your chest. Lower the feet down towards the ground. Lift the hips up, remove the blocks. Inhale. Exhale, lower the buttocks. And then let's windshield wiper the knees side to side, back and forth. Cactus the arms. And then please take your knees over to your right side. Cross your right ankle over the outer left knee. Head turns to the left. As your head turns to the left, breathe into the left IT band. Full breath in. Exhale. Head turns to the left. Deep breath in. Exhale. In daily work, remaining approachable. I feel that's a really wonderful quality. Remain approachable. Deep breath in. And exhale. Let us uncross the legs. Bring the knees back towards center. Inhale. Exhale, we take the knees over to the left. Head turns to the right. Cross the left ankle over the outer right knee. And just relax the shoulders down. Release the side waistline. Full breath in. Exhale. Deep breath in. Exhale. And full breath in. Exhale. From here, slowly uncross the legs, bring the knees back towards center, both knees hug into the chest. Take a long, slow, full, deep breath in, fill lungs up, sip in a little more air, hug it all together into a tight ball. And on the exhale, release everything down towards the ground. Take some time in your Shavasana. I'm going to play a gong today in Shavasana, so allow yourself to be here. Let go. Relax the head, face, lips, eyes, mouth, jaw, spine, chest, shoulders, arms, hands, belly, hips, legs, and feet. And slowly bringing awareness back to the breath and body, to the inhales and exhales. Begin to move the fingers and toes, circling the wrists, ankles, roll the shoulders up, back, and down. Turn the head side to side. Open and close the mouth. And with the deepest, longest inhales all day, please reach the arms up and over the head, giving yourself a nice long stretch. And on the exhale, release the arms down along the sides. Placing a gentle bend in your knees, roll over to the left side. And use your right hand to press yourself up. Come into a comfortable seated position. And with a comfortable seated position, placing the hands on the heart, just sharing a loving affirmation by Louise L. She said, "In the infinity of life where I am, all is perfect, whole, and complete. I support myself and life supports me. I see evidence of the law working all around me and in every area of my life. I reinforce that which I learn in joyous ways. My day begins with gratitude and joy. I look forward with enthusiasm to the adventures of the day, knowing that in my life all is good. I love who I am and all that I do. I am the living, loving, joyous expression of life. All is well in my world." And it's using these words and really feeling into our heart with them. In the infinity of life, where I am, at this singular point, all is well in my world. Always starting in the here and now, in the present moment. We expand from the present. Please keep the good work up that you're doing. It goes a long way. With hands over the heart, let's finish the practice with an Om. Inhale. Inhale, fill lungs. Exhale, bow the head down towards the hands. Honoring yourself, your practice, for showing up on your mat. We honor our friends, families, loved ones, and supporters in gratitude for the many blessings, gifts, and abundance that shows up in our lives. And in gratitude to the many teachers and guides who came long before us, who passed along these practices called yoga. Releasing the hands down, opening the eyes, lifting your chins. Thank you so much, friends, for being here, for being in my life, for being a support network for me as well. Thank you for taking care of yourselves. If you need anything at all, or if you need to reach out to me or my family, or have any questions about whatever topic, I'm happy to be an open book. The more that we can shed a light on this stuff, the more that we really reveal about ourselves and where we stand and our relationship to one another. I Thank you all. I appreciate you. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Ho'oponopono. Aho. Namaste.